I'm Megan. I started Kenna's trading academy 6 months ago, and ever since I've been trading with Kenna a couple days a month, and I found a lot of success. I had no experience before. I'm a nurse, and so I only work a couple days a week and trade another day or so a week, which has been really beneficial for my schedule and my financial situation. And now on the side, I've been helping Kenna with some student success. Before our call, I want to introduce you to someone very special, Kenna, the founder of our trading mentorship. In this conversation, we're going to answer the biggest questions people usually have before starting: what trading really is and how it works, why it's beginner friendly, even if you've never made a dollar online, how our students are creating real results in just 1 to 2 hours a day, and most importantly, address the fears and doubts that hold most people back. By the end of this podcast, you'll have a total clarity on what we do, what to expect from your call, and whether it is truly the right fit for you. Let's dive in. Kenna, a lot of people have been meeting you for the first time, might have seen your content online or heard about you through another student. For those who don't know your story, who is Kenna and what got you into trading in the first place?
Yeah, so basically what got me into trading in the first place is I was really interested in financial markets. And so I got into crypto pretty early on back in 2017. And then from there, I built up my portfolio and I used to work at a golf course. And these people that I worked for obviously were very wealthy. And I would always ask them like what I should do with my money. And they would tell me like investment advice and just teach me about finance. And that's really what got me like started into it. And then I also went to college, studied finance and math as well. And from there, I kind of just put trading to the back burner. I didn't really focus on it that much, but then I saw a lot of people making money and I wanted to try it. And so I jumped in. I had $500 and I just started with like no guidance, no structure, no rules, no anything. I had no idea what I was doing. And somehow, luckily, I turned that $500 into 10K. And then from there, I lost it all, not knowing what I was doing. And so once I made that 500 to 10K, that gave me so much hope. And then once I lost it, I realized that I had no idea what I was doing. And if I was really going to build this skill and I was going to do this right, I was going to have to like study hard, put the work in, and honestly, just like have a whole different framework in terms of like risk management and managing my emotions and my psychology. But that's really how I got into it. And from there, I've been able to build a multiple six-figure portfolio since then.
And what's impressive is that you built all this from scratch. No money, no connections. That makes it easier for a beginner to relate and trust the process.
Yeah, no, for sure. I honestly think that there was so much of my struggles that I went through that could have been avoided if I had even just a little bit more guidance and structure. And that's basically what I created, the roadmap I created for people to basically skip all the roadblocks that I had to go to. So, like losing that first 10K could have been completely avoided if I had a program like this. And so that's exactly why I built it. So others could like basically achieve the same results with skipping the years of wasted time and honestly wasted money as well.
People hear trading, they immediately think that it's risky, complicated, or that you could lose everything. What would you say to that?
Yeah, so trading is not like gambling. It's a serious skill. And what I like to compare it to is like, I guess you could say like big wave surfing. If you don't know how to swim or you don't know how to surf, you're not just going to jump in the ocean and try to surf the biggest wave. And so that's what we kind of build up to. And so we start on the sand, we start out in like the shallow end, and then you really get to study the markets, identify patterns, and use strategies that have been like proven to work, as well as like risk management, because the risk still exists and you have to understand how to manage it. But once you really do and you understand how to protect your capital, how to grow it very consistently, the point is not to like just try to get lucky and try to get these big wins. It's how to be consistent and have like smart decision making around what the risks you're taking are. And so that's why it's definitely more it's not like gambling, it's definitely a skill.
And unlike drop shipping, real estate, or other businesses, you don't need clients, inventory, or cold calls.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's 100% skill based. So you're growing your own knowledge into consistent results. And that's what makes it really beginner friendly and realistic. Also, with these like funded accounts where you're only having to put up $50, $100 to get access to $50,000, $100,000 worth of capital has really made it a great way for beginners to get started without a ton of money or without a ton of, connections, network, and stuff like that. And that's what really drew me to trading in the first place, is that you don't need a lot of money to start. You just need a little bit, and then you don't need any connections at all. You can do it completely no matter where you're from, who and that's like the really cool thing about it, is that it is so skill based and not connection based.
Also, one of the biggest things we hear is, I don't have time. How do your students make it work?
Yeah, I mean, you only really need 1 to 2 focused hours a day because some students trade before work, some after, and the futures market is open 23/5, and so it's actually open 23 hours a day. So it really is open, at any time in your schedule where you can just place a trade for, 10, 20 minutes. And so consistency is the key there. You don't need to be on your screen all day long, and I think that that's sometimes the misconception that people have with trading. In my opinion, it's all about just high quality and like high quality setups and taking anywhere from either even just 1 to 2 trades a day. And I know people that are making over 6 figures a month that are doing just like 4 to 5 quality setups per month. And it's pretty crazy because that's the reality of trading. It's not about how much time you put in. It's not about how much time on the screen you're having. It's all about the quality of your trades. And that's why you really only need like 1 to 2 hours a day.
Agreed. And I am a nurse, which means I only work 3 times a week. And I dedicate at least, or pretty much only one other day a week that I have off to trading. And that's enough. But people that with more traditional jobs, like a full time worker or students, do you think that they can realistically do this?
Oh my gosh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I have students trading while going to college full time. I have students that work a 9 to 5, and I honestly think that it's not about the time. It's all about the focus and just following the systems. Like you said, I mean, trading 1 day a week can go a really long way if you're taking only 1 to 3 trades a day on that day. Like you're having some pretty good success rate, and so it's all just about the quality and not the quantity in this game. And so if anyone's like thinking, oh, I have to like dedicate like, 5 hours on the screen a day, that's just like simply not the truth.
Walk me through the steps someone takes when they start this mentorship.
Yeah, so it's basically 4 simple phases. So we start with learning the foundations, and this is the most important part in my opinion because this is where we're teaching market structure, risk management, how to actually read price action, and how to actually understand why financial markets move the way that they do. And this is good for any beginner at any level because you don't need any experience in trading to kind of get started with these things. And then from there, after you understand the fundamentals, we go into mastering at least one strategy. So instead of bouncing between 20 different mentors and like a bunch of YouTube videos that are telling you a bunch of different things, we focus on one single strategy that works so you know exactly what you're looking for every single time. And this is going to help you gain that confidence in like those setups and being able to identify a good trade from a bad trade. And then from there is going to be controlling those emotions. So most beginners fail because they let their emotions take over. They overtrade, they revenge trade after they lose. And so we really dive into discipline and mindset here, and also how to protect your capital so you're not over leveraging and risking more than you need to. And then once that consistency builds, then our students grow their account, and honestly, it just compounds on their own capital. So there's where we start with funded accounts and to trade with obviously more capital. And this is when results really start to multiply. So, you can turn $100 into $200, 200 and 400, 400, 800. And this is where, that scaling really begins once we have those first 3 steps, those first 3 phases really nailed down.
People have questions and concerns before committing, so let's tackle the big ones. One, trading is too risky.
Yeah. So kind of like I said before, trading is not like gambling. It is a skill. And we're not going to just throw you into the deep end and tell you to surf a 1,000-foot wave. We're going to teach you from the basics. No one's going to trade with their life savings. We're going to keep things very small, very controlled. And so you learn safely. And this is where, things like paper trading, where you're trading with fake money, begins. And so you can really build up that confidence to see like, oh, okay, like with paper trading, I'm doing well. With real money, there's no reason why I couldn't as well. And so this is where we're doing things very, very controlled, very safe. We're never going to ask you to risk more than you're comfortable with. And this is where those funded accounts come into play as well. You pay $50 to get access to $50,000 worth of trading capital of someone else's money. And so we would never like tell you like, oh, you have to have like $50,000 to start or anything like that. And so we want to make sure we start very, 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 very small and then build our way up to those bigger trades.
What do you feel like makes your mentorship program different than others?
Yeah, so I teach an entire system, not just one strategy. So in the beginning, to make sure you don't feel overwhelmed or anything like that, we start with one strategy. But from there, I teach long-term investing as well. We go through stocks, we go through options, we go through futures, and then I also obviously focus a lot on risk management and psychology, which most courses only teach you strategy, and then maybe they throw in a few videos about psychology. But we really teach everything around it so that you can be consistent and see success. And we also do live trading, and we also have, market support, and share with you when I'm, maybe investing into some crypto, or when something big is happening in the market. For example, this year we've had 2 huge dips in the market concerning, Trump's tariffs and stuff like that. And so I'm keeping you up to date on everything in the market, and not just teaching you a strategy and then kind of going ghost, which is what a lot of these courses end up doing. And so you're going to learn everything from, the top down about how financial markets work, how to utilize them, how to make money in them. And then we're actually going to teach you, the proper routines and journaling to stay consistent as well.
Another concern is that I've never done anything like this.
Yeah, so for beginners, that's exactly who this program is for. I mean, we built everything from zero, guide every step of the way, and support you until you're consistent. For me, it's all about really getting those people from fully beginner, never took a trade their life, into confidently taking trades on a consistent basis and making that like 5 to 10K a month consistently without my help eventually. And so this is for people who have never done anything like this before, and that's exactly why I built it, because I feel like I didn't have something like this when I wanted to get into trading. And so it's like perfect for someone who, has never done anything like this.
Another question people have is, does this work for everyone?
This is going to work for anyone who is willing to follow the process and stay consistent. If you're committed and you're coachable, then I 100% believe that you can get results. And I've worked with people from all walks of life, nurses, for example, and stay-at-home moms, also people who work blue-collar jobs, people who work 9 to 5s, people who work during the daytime, people who are teachers. Like, I've worked with everyone from so many different walks of life, and so many people have been able to see consistency no matter what they do or where they're from and who they are. And so I really believe it all is just about, following the process and staying consistent.
And another question people might have is, how much time do I need?
Honestly, like I said, I think 1 to 2 hours a day is really all you need. I would dedicate maybe an additional, 2 to 3 hours a week to study, but to actually trade, 1 to 2 hours is all you need. You're placing 1 to 3 trades a day in that time frame. And yeah, anything more than that, I think, is just it's not necessary.
Hannah, why did you build this mentorship program instead of just trading for yourself?
Yeah, so obviously, of course, I still trade for myself, but I wasted so many years and so much money trying to learn the hard way. And so I built this mentorship to give students the guidance that I never had, which is obviously just a clear roadmap, clear structure, accountability, and live support. And so at the end of the day, you're learning a skill, and paying someone to kind of accelerate that for you is far more efficient than paying the markets to teach you, and paying your tuition to the markets. And so that's really why I built it. Because at the end of the day, the way that I like to think about it is, you could go to the gym or you could go for a run, and that's great. But if you really want to get good at something, you really want to build that skill, you're going to hire someone like a trainer. And so I like to compare myself to that, where I'm an expert in the field, and it's like someone who's going to accelerate your progress, someone who's going to push you, someone who's going to challenge you a little bit further than you would for yourself. That's going to basically help you see those results a lot faster than on your own.
What qualities do you see in your highest achieving students?
I will say that the highest achieving students, they are extremely hungry. They're extremely focused. They ask a lot of questions, and they're willing to learn, and they're also coachable. So, it doesn't matter if you're a student, or like I said, or working professional, or you work at a restaurant, whatever your job is, doesn't really matter. It is all about if you are ready to really like make that pivot and make that dedication to, changing your life. This is not just like, it's not about, intelligence, in my opinion. It's all about consistency and showing up every day and having questions and wanting to like really better yourself. Those are the best people who end up being the best traders, in my opinion.
And what would you say stops most students from succeeding?
Definitely lack of consistency, and then not asking for help. And so if you, show up for 2 weeks straight, and then, don't do anything for 3 weeks, and then show up again and expect all that memorization to still be there, it is kind of hard to stay consistent like that. So even if it's just 15 minutes a day, that's going to take you a lot farther than, intensity. And so consistency always beats intensity, in my opinion. And the system works, but only if you show up, communicate what you don't understand, communicate what you do understand. And in my opinion, that's the difference between giving up and really seeing results. It's the people who are constantly questioning and constantly trying to just understand things a little bit better and aren't afraid to ask.
Kenna, thank you so much for taking the time. I think this clears up so many questions and fears that beginners usually have.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you follow the system, if you stay consistent, if you stay disciplined, there really is no way to not see results quickly. I really do believe that like trading isn't magic, but it's a skill that anyone can learn with the right guidance, with the right steps. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks.